Eric here.
Hi, Eric.
We have Frank from Fontana, California. He wants to talk about the environment. He's been on hold for a little while. So.
Hey, Frank from Fontana. I had an uncle who used to live in Fontana. Frank wants to talk about the environment. Welcome to the show, my friend. What do you got for me?
Hello, how you doing?
Good.
I wanted to talk about the nuclear power plants right now. Recently, a lot of them are overaged now, and the San Onofre nuclear power plant has been leaking the tritium.
Holy hell, am I glad you called. Go ahead, Frank. Take a couple of minutes and lay it out there for us.
Okay, yeah, basically, nuclear power plants in Chicago, Minnesota have been leaking, and I wanted to ask Roseanne or yourself, about that subject, and about also coal companies. So two different questions. It's hard to decide which one, you want, because they're both pollutant. They both pollute the environment, but I mean, something has to be done because these nuclear power plants are definitely looking like they're falling apart, like our infrastructure here. So I want to get your opinion on that.
I couldn't agree more, man. I think they've left the genie out of the bottle. And when they talk about this stuff, this radioactivity, this stuff that has a half-life of a gazillion years, when you take a look at what happened to Japan and the people that worked in that place, all I can figure is that the almighty dollar is at the heart of all this promotion of this stuff. I mean, what the hell, man? The sun shines for free. The wind blows for free. There are places in the North Sea, up around Scandinavia, where they actually have these huge platforms that get pushed in and out by the waves, and they light whole towns. They create electricity and power. And, I'm not an airhead that thinks we're all going to stand and walk around with a solar panel and we're going to run everything tomorrow from that. But I don't think you need to be a genius to know that we are playing with fire with this nuclear power stuff. And when they start about leaks, and they talk about leaks, and, this is stuff that's beyond terrifying. So I think all we can do is speak up once again and point the finger. I think we need more people to stop hanging their heads and crying about Whitney Houston and start lifting their heads up, keep our chins up, and march toward Washington or our representatives, our state representatives, point the finger and go, hey, what is up with this stuff? Who's guarding these things? What kind of regulatory agencies do we have that let these incredibly dangerous facilities start to leak and get cracks and get old? Every time I hear people talk about how safe nuclear energy is and what a great track record it has, I'm thinking they're paid by somebody. They must be paid by somebody, because the people who lived around 3 Mile Island years ago back east, their houses overnight were worth nothing. Once those babies start to leak, it's like trying to get scrambled eggs back in the shell, don't you think, Frank?
Or they're heavily invested in it. They invest in the stock of nuclear power plant. That's why they're probably for it. Because I get the same answer from people. I ask why do they support nuclear power, and they say for than coal or any other energy. Actually, I was told that it's actually good for you, and I can't believe the outrageous answers I get from people sometimes.
It is insane. Frank, what's the closest facility to where you live? Nuclear.
It'd be San Onofre. That'd be the closest.
And what do your neighbors think? Do you feel like the odd man out? Do you feel like most people, that your neighbors or whatever, relatives, family, do you feel like people think that you're the alarmist? Do you find that you're the most?
I get called an alarmist a lot because I bring up these subjects of nuclear power and I mentioned clean coal. I know coal is dirty, but when it comes comparing coal to nuclear power, I think there's really no comparison because one meltdown, one leak. Your whole neighborhood is just gone. Your whole city is gone if a nuclear power plant ever melts down. And we're starting to see, the United States nuclear power plants just starting to fall apart now. And I wanted to ask Roseanne what she thought about it.
Roseanne's right here, and she's with me. We're on the same track with this. She's got a throat problem and stuff going on. Our good buddy Greg has brought by some meds for her, some organic stuff, some herbs and things that he says will help her out a little bit. She's very close, but she handed the phone off to me. But I guarantee you that she's very much a proponent of alternative energy. And we're not dreamers. We don't think that we're going to switch to solar tomorrow or wind power tomorrow. But holy hell, if these guys could put a fence around the sun and charge us for it, they would. So when you follow the money, you can see why. Like you say, you can see why most people look at me and you as alarmists, when in fact we know this stuff is dangerous, man. This is freaky stuff. They're playing with fire. And let me put, Roseanne, you want to just let Frank know that we're as nervous as the next people with all these nuclear power plants busted down and all the rest of it. Why aren't we looking at other alternatives? Frank, talk to Roseanne for just a sec, okay?
Okay.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Ben.
How you doing?
Yeah, I wanted to get your take on what do you think about nuclear power plants and the recent leaks that are going on in California, Chicago, Minnesota. I mean, it seems like they're coming of age and they're going beyond what the recommended age came for them, which was about 5 years ago. I think they expired, and they're starting to fall apart now. So I just wanted to get your opinion on it because I know you're part of the Green Party.
Well, what I know is that what I was trying to say 4 years ago was that Obama, his major contributor was the nuclear power industry, and I knew that was going to be bad, because those are the people he was most beholden to. And, you know, the thing they asked him to do, and everybody else whose campaigns that they sponsored, is to look the other way and do nothing. And that's what he did, and that's what, you know, continues to be the money party's big strategy, do nothing. And so, yeah, I mean, just like what happened in Japan, we got to take a look at it. And they're really seriously, Frank, there's not a damn thing we can do.
I agree to a certain extent. I think people, if they knew exactly what nuclear power, what it entails when it comes to contamination, like tritium, that every nuclear power plant sets out to the atmosphere, I think people would have a big change of mind of having any nuclear power plants around their area or even 50 miles away from where they live. I mean, look at coal, for example. The Obama administration is going on the warpath with the EPA, and I don't see them going after nuclear power the same way. I mean, coal is dirty, but how can you compare nuclear power to coal? I mean, there's no comparison. One meltdown, and you have Fukushima or Chernobyl on our hands, and that's what I think we're seeing right now. I mean, 3 leaks in less than, 6 months?
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Well, I know, but, you know, there's nothing that can be done. That's what's really ridiculous. And, you know, we don't like to talk about this. Nobody on earth likes to talk about it because it's just too real. The fact that what happened in Chernobyl is the reason that, you know, I can't believe that they never say that's why we have global warming. They oppose the truth at every step. And, you know, they continue to do that. But what happened at Chernobyl was the equivalent of 16 nuclear wars. So, of course, you know, seriously, what chance do we have after that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're destroying our environment. And it's not like you get rid of this nuclear waste. It's here for, like you said, you know, millions of years. And, you know, I mean, it's just no comparison. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me why anyone supports nuclear power in this country. But I think these people,
you know, Frank, I think these people, honestly, those people, I think they feel like this. What the hell? It's over anyway. I might as well grab everything I can grab while I can get it. That's like when you like really trace the way they think and the things they do, which show the way they think and the things they invest in and all of that other stuff of, you know, the 1%ers, the 1% of 1%, the billionaires. You know, it's like, wow, you know, everything's effed and dead, and so we're just going to grab everything we can grab now and, you know, everybody be damned. And I do think they damned us. And I don't think there's anything we can do about it except for open our eyes and face it. And that is so painful and horrible that, you know, people just can't do it. And there's going to be more of it, too. There's going to be a lot more of it.
Yeah, people definitely are in denial about what's really going on. They don't want to face the truth, in my opinion. But right now there's legislation trying to put all the nuclear waste in Cheyenne Mountain, I believe, in Nevada. No, they don't want no state nuclear waste, but that's what they want to store it, in that mountain area in Nevada. And about, 50 miles from Las Vegas, I believe. Yeah.
The other thing that's so kind of horrendously funny when you talk about, you know, when you talk about the people at the top as being like vampiric and so out of touch and just you know, grabbing everything they can grab is you know, a lot of the legislation that they, you know, we were talking before when Bonnie called in about how they hide things in the legislation, like, okay, like when they put a grant for, you know, to give us public school money, they also hide in there to hide nuclear waste right by the most vulnerable public schools in America. Like when you go to Harlem, you see a public school and a hospital, you can pretty much bet the bank that right behind that is where all the waste, nuclear and otherwise, is being buried. That's how they do politics in this country.